Hello folks, today we're going to talk about balancing the front tire of the Honda CB750 project that I've been working on. You see here's the tire. I just recently mounted it on the rim. This does have a tube inside of it. This is a period correct tire from Dunlop. It's a K70, the appropriate size for this rim. The owner wanted an original style tire, or as close as I could get. Unfortunately, in this size anyway, Dunlop still makes this tire. This is a new tire. This is not an old stock tire. This is brand new. It was made, I checked the date code on the tire. It was made in 2013, and this is early 2014, so it's good to go. So again, as you can see, it's already been mounted on a rim. You will notice here's the valve stem where my finger is. This yellow dot right here, that is the light spot on the tire. So typically when you install a tire like this, you look for this yellow circle, and since that is the light spot, you typically would mount that directly opposite the valve stem, which tends to be the heavy spot of the rim. What we're going to talk about next is balancing of the tire. And since I don't really have a tire balancing system in my shop, what I typically use is balancing beads, and some people have never heard of them before. So I'm going to show you the installation of the balance beads, which go inside of the tire, and they're designed to take advantage of centrifugal force and self-balance as the tire spins. I've been using them for years, probably 10 years now. This is, I lost track of how many motorcycles I've used balancing beads on. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but I find it's much easier for me in a home shop to balance the tire without having to worry about the weights. This tire still has the weights on it. You can see one right here that eventually, here when I'm done, will come off because it will no longer be needed. So in a moment here, I'm going to set up well, first I'll show you the balancing beads that I bought, and then I'll show you the kit, and then we'll go ahead and put the beads inside of the tire through the valve stem. Here's the kit when you buy the balancing beads. I happen to buy the brand called Dynabeads. There are a number of different vendors, suppliers of a similar product. I've been using Dynabeads from the beginning, and they've always worked well with my projects, so I really have seen no need to change vendors. And you can get different size packages all the way up for packages that are suitable for heavy over-the-road 18-wheelers, which I believe is perhaps is where this concept was originally developed, but I couldn't swear to it, all the way down to scooters. So I bought a kit which includes this bottle that you will I'll put the beads in here. This plastic tube will go over the spout of the bottle. This end will go onto the valve stem. Obviously I'll put the beads in the bottle. Take the valve core out, which I've already done here. You can see here's the valve core and the cap. This is a little tire removing tool, a valve core removing tool. This is the valve core removing tool. I made this years ago, and I just took an old inner tube, cut the valve stem out of it. You can see that's what this is. I screwed on a metal valve tool. I Loctited it on, and then this makes it really easy to remove the valve stems. So that's just the tool. So in a moment here, I'm going to take I'll open this package up, take one of these bags of Dynabeads, put them in here, and we'll get on with inserting them into the tire. It contains one 2-ounce bag, which is the one on the left, and one 1-ounce bag of beads on the right. Depending on the size of the tire, you have to buy different weights, quantity rather, that's expressed in ounces of the beads. On a motorcycle this size, I typically put a 2-ounce bag in the rear tire, which I have not gotten to yet. I haven't taken it off yet and done anything with it. And a 1-ounce bag in the front tire. And that is based on Dynabeads recommendations. Here's the instruction sheet, by the way. I don't think I referred to that earlier. They do send this nice little instruction sheet that tells you all the details about how to install it, etc. Their website also talks about, this doesn't talk about how much per tire to put in, but their website does. And based on the recommendations and what I've done previously, again, I use 2 ounces in the rear, 1 ounce rather, in the front tire. So I'm going to put this bag into the tire I just showed you a moment ago. So what I'm going to use is just this little simple funnel. Don't probably have to, but I want to make sure you don't lose anything. By the way, these beads are ceramic, so they don't rust. They won't pick up moisture. They're just round little ceramic beads. Simple as that. One of the things I'm going to do is make this opening for the beads to pass through bigger. It's pretty small, and you have to be careful you don't make it too large, because what will happen is the beads will just clump up as they're trying to go into the valve stem, and then you got to tap it and fiddle with it to get the beads to pour through. So it's a little bit of an estimate or guesstimate on the operator's part here and how big to make that. But I can pretty much tell you that hole is too small. So there you might be able to see how big I made the opening. I'm going to put the filler tube on the valve stem first, only because it's going to make it easier, because you've got it's a bit of a tight fit, and it'll be easier just without having the bottle in place. And I don't want to not get this on properly. You want to make sure it's on far enough that it doesn't come off during the middle of your fill, because if that happens, you're going to have beads all over and you're going to waste them. You will never be able to reclaim them. And here's the process of filling the tire. It does take a few minutes. You just kind of vibrate them down. You don't want to go too fast, because they'll just bunch up and create a plug just before it goes into the valve, or the stem, I should say. So it takes a few minutes. You got to be patient and just shake them all down. It helps to lean the tire back just a bit away from your body at the top. Gives you a little bit more convenient angle. You can experiment with that as you go. Again, I've done this a number of times over the years, and this is the way I found it works best for me, is to be patient. Patience is a virtue here for sure. And lean the tire away a little bit and shake the bottle, and gradually they'll all shake down through the stem and into the inner tube. If you have a tubeless tire, this isn't one, of course, but if you had a tubeless tire, you could, before you seal the tire up, an option would be to pour them right into the core of the tire before you finish seating the bead. With a tube tire such as this one, that option really doesn't exist. You have to go through the valve stem. At this point, I'm probably 80%, 75, 80% done. Probably been at it for maybe 2 minutes, realistically. Might seem longer than that. It really doesn't take that long. It just sometimes might seem like it. And there we have finished up. So all the beads are gone. I lost just a couple here, kind of coming in and coming out, but so I've got about 1 ounce of beads through the stem into the inner tube. So at that point, I can remove this filler tube, and I can go ahead and put the valve stem back in and reinflate the tire, and basically it's ready to go back on the bike. It's that simple. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this weight here. It's just crimped on. There are no other weights on this wheel, simply this one right here. There you go. So I got all the weights off. Before I put the valve stem back in, I want to make sure that the threads are clear of any stray beads, and it is. Then we'll go ahead and put this back in and reinflate the tire. I'll fill it with air and mount it on the bike, and the front wheel will now be dynamically balanced as it rolls using Dynabeads. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, folks. If you got any questions, drop a comment to me. Again, check out my blog, rightwayrestorations.com. I'll have a bit of a posting on this too with a link back to YouTube. Again, thanks for watching.